Hey guys, we are live. Welcome to Turn Automotive's third live event. Today, we are proud to be joined by Javier, the pre-owned manager of Honda of New Rochelle. And we are also lucky to be joined by Bengie Molina from Turn Automotive. Javier, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? How long have you been in the car business?
So my name is Javier Figueroa. I'm the used car manager here at Honda of New Rochelle. I've been in the business since 2014. Um, Started as a young guy, 22. I'm now 34. Uh, I enjoy what I do. This is an interesting business because not every day is the same day. So you kind of get a new day every day, and it's grown so much over the course since I first started with technology, and it's been a very rewarding business itself.
Amen, brother. I think the world of the car business, and I think the world of guys that have made it like you, who take a lot of pride in it. It sounds like you really care about your career and you see the trajectory on it and you're making it happen. Bengie, what about you? What's brought you to that office wearing a nice sport coat? You at one point worked in a car dealership, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it was one of the times of my life that I had a lot of fun, but the hours just killed you. Everyone knows in the car
Benji, the
business,
hours are awful. Oh, hold on, Javier.
it's
Are you at the country club or are you at the grind factory? What's it like?
It's a grind. Every day is a grind, but it's a rewarding grind. You get what
Amen,
you put
brother. I
into it.
respect people that worked at Honda stores and Toyota stores and Kia stores because the factories hold you to a very high standard. I remember when my
Mhm.
brother worked at the Tyson or the Chevrolet store, and I was down the street at the Toyota store. We were a mile away from each other, and the Toyota store, we were locking the door at like midnight. Like we were getting every little deal. We were grinding it out for a Corolla when my brother was kind of turning things down and he only wanted to crack big like country boys on trucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, Javier, how is Honda doing? Because everybody's saying like, oh, Honda's struggling. Honda's not what it used to be. Honda's didn't turn a profit this quarter. What's the outlook of a guy who's actually within the four walls of a Honda store?
I mean, it's getting better. I could say that because I'm witnessing it. First quarter might have been down, but we're trajecting in the right direction.
You were talking
I,
new car sales.
well, I'm in the pre-owned department. New cars, I do get trades coming in, and I see what my new car department does month in and month out, and their numbers are going up as well. It was
Okay,
a
so
slow
Honda's
start.
on this like growth trajectory from what you can see in the Northeast. New Rochelle is in New York. It's in New York.
Yeah, Westchester, New York.
Westchester, New York. I just know there's a mall there. Are you near the mall?
No, but we're near downtown New Rochelle. Not too
Nice.
far away from the Bronx or the city itself, and it's a
No,
great location.
so do you consider yourself a New York City guy?
I was born and raised. I was born in Dominican Republic. I was raised in New York City, so all my life, my youth is was spent in New York City. Yeah.
Tell me about how being from the Dominican Republic has played to your favor in the car business. I mean, I remember working in Tyson's Corner, and when our Spanish speaking sales guy quit, it was a fire drill. We were like, we need to go get a new Spanish speaking guy. We always had to have five Spanish speaking guys. Benji, do you speak Spanish?
Sí, por supuesto.
Do you know what speaking Spanish is the equivalent of in the car business? You remember when you were like growing up and the kid who was like a lefty baseball player like wasn't as good as everyone else, but he was in the rotation because he was a lefty? Like if you can
Yeah.
speak Spanish, you can make a career in the car business. But Javier, tell us how it's played to your advantage.
It's definitely helped me, a lot. I get to deal with different type of customers, and it opens the profitability for me to earn
Oh,
more.
it opens them up so much. You bring me into that conversation and I come at him with the country club golf handshake. It ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, this business is all about building relations, and I'm glad I'm able to do that for the Spanish speaking.
Yeah. So Javier, do you use Turn Automotive? Like how do you plug it into your whole flow? Like what does Turn Automotive do for you?
It does a lot. I love Turn for the simple fact that it gives me live appraisals values. It's it takes time to upload the photos, but within minutes you're getting offers on the vehicles itself that you're looking to appraise.
Do you do
Saves
it
me
for
time.
every you use Turn for like every appraisal or just like the remote ones or the in do you use it here and there or you use it every time?
So I use it. I use it often. Not on every single appraisal because I'm very familiar with Honda. But every now and then
Ooh,
when you
you like
get
to like shoot from the hip. You're like, I got that Honda.
with the Honda's I'm pretty spot on, But then you got off brands that I'm not
Ooh, so you
familiarized
like
with.
turn because it gives you a backstop. So when you're not familiar, you're going at it 100 miles an hour anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I upload the photos and I get a real appraisal.
Yeah, and
So
I think
if
that's
you
also the
don't,
beauty of it too. That with Turn, anyone could use it. Whether it's for their own inventory they want to keep or inventory that they're not so sure about. In Javier's circumstance, he uses it for vehicles that he wouldn't
yeah,
normally,
that's
know exactly
strong.
the value
So
of.
when Turn gives you, let's say you appraised a 2012 Toyota Camry, and it's got 30,000 miles on it, and it tells you it's worth $12,000. Do you set that $12,000 as ACV? Do you make that internal ACV for the store?
Yeah. It gives me. So what I like about it, right? Especially like for example, we have good relationship with you guys. So if I need a little bit more, you guys know who to reach out to get me a little bit more for that trade. Um,
Oh, so they can like reach out on your behalf and find money.
yeah, yeah. I've had an instance with a Porsche recently, a nice Porsche 911, and the initial offer was really low, but my connection and my relationship with you guys, you were able to make some calls and find a buyer for that car to give me what I was looking to
Wow.
get for the car.
Imagine your trade appraisal tool reaching out and finding a buyer for a trade. That's insane, dude.
So
So, Benji, do you remember back when we were at the car dealership and you would go argue with the used car manager over ACV? You were the salesman, and then he set ACV at 10 grand, and we both knew the car was worth 12, right? Because he
yeah,
wanted to take it in for nothing. Javier, that's why you're not touching Turn Automotive on any of the Honda appraisals. It'd have given you a real number and you want to back it down so you can take it in profitably. But like, you remember that fight, You remember the tension between the new car department and the used car department? Like,
yeah, yeah,
Benji and
absolutely.
Javier, like, has that been a benefit of Turn as well? Where like the objectivity of the ACV that Turn gives to you, then it alleviates the tension between the team because the used car manager isn't trying to blow smoke. He's not trying to. I'm trying to come up with a cool term, but I'm old. He's not trying to trick you. You know what I mean? So like the ACV stands on its own and has a lot of credibility, and then the whole team can rally behind that number without accusing the used car manager. Javier, what I'm trying to ask, does it keep people off your back?
It definitely does. And especially when you get a real time value for the vehicle and you're able to show your new car department, hey, listen, I'm giving you all I can get for the vehicle itself. It allows them to make the deal. At the same time, it's a safe gate for myself as well if I decide not to keep the vehicle.
Are you buying any cars off Turn? Like, what's a hot car in the market right now? Like, what would be the best thing that we could get in inventory on Honda of New Rochelle? Do you want like a pilot with low miles? Would that be like the best?
Well, yeah, I would say the cars that are difficult to find in the market where when you go to auction, those will be like pilots, bigger cars that cost a lot more money.
Right.
With
You want to
Turn,
find the margin. Generally, you
yeah,
can get margin in a larger vehicle.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
and so the beauty of the trade desk that Javier was talking about, having a human on the other end that's able to help you, put deals together. I think that's speaks volumes because in this industry, a lot of times we're just, we're focused on that one number we get. Even the consumers nowadays, they're focused on the same number that they just get a range. And so
mhm.
Javier really utilized Turn and the trade desk to be able to call and say, "Hey, customers needs another $500 on this deal. Can you help us out?" And our team really goes to war, and we fight to make sure that we get that extra $500 wherever we can to help Javier make that new car deal or used car deal, if anything, and just make more deals. And that's what we're really all about.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I'm
Hmm.
like, I've never known a vendor to care how much I traded a car for. That just like simply doesn't exist. It's insane that somebody would advocate for you at all. And
yeah.
Yeah.
when they find more money for you, Javier, do they keep it?
No, no, they give me essentially what I'm looking for.
They pass
I've
it
had
along?
Hmm.
yeah, I've had instances where I'll get a text real quick and say, hey, look, it's gonna take a little bit of time for me to get you more money for the car, but I'll get a
Wow.
call within minutes and say, hey, I was able to get you this.
Yeah,
It
I think that's the
happens with
beauty of
selling.
Turn is it's the beauty of Turn, or like the true logic of it, the genius is that it takes the tension, the internal tension between the departments of a car dealership, and it puts it on someone else so that you can move confidently. And I think that that's super unique. But what kind of inventory are you looking for right now? Like, what are you actually making money on when you can go and acquire a vehicle? What's hot?
What's hot? I would say off brands. That's really where you make a good amount of profit
Oh, so
on.
if you're at a Honda store, you want to go sell like a Cadillac, or you want to sell something that doesn't quite fit the inventory.
Something unique, yeah. As long as it has low miles, something that fits, our market and what I've seen over the course of a couple of days of ups that come in through the door.
When you're acquiring a vehicle, it's really important to find something with like miles that can be financed and something that's not too old. So, like, what's the oldest car that could still get financed at 72 months? How old could it be?
I would say I've seen cars being financed over 10 years. So I've seen a car, 12 years old being financed.
Javier, you're writing paper for 10 years on a car?
Yeah, those are of course low cost vehicles, cheap cars, and people
Cheap
come in.
cars, 10 years.
Yeah.
What's the expectation? It's like we'll just recover it in this person's will. When they pass on, they'll leave it to the bank.
No, so you get some buyers that come in and they're just looking for a cheap, reliable, good cars,
What
and
what
they're
sort
looking
of
for
banks are like actually writing that 10-year loan? Is it a
uh
credit
so
union?
no, we have banks that do offer those loans on those vehicles.
No way. And
Yeah.
then what sort of like equity position do they have to be in order to achieve that? And do they have to have excellent credit, or is that going like to anyone?
Credit does play a role into it, but if they have, let's say, 20% of the vehicle to put down, we'll get them a loan.
In
20,
the used car
20%.
department right now, what monthly payment are you targeting to try and sell to your local market? Is the general used car buyer trying to be at 500 a month?
You do see that coming through those doors, right? You see
And
the
I'm
the
out of
the-
the game, Javier. I'm not what I used to be, brother. I was pretty sharp, back in the day, but I'm washed up. Now I sell memes for a living. So I want to know, like, what's the monthly note that people are kind of sustaining through a franchise used car department.
so right now you see an average of anywhere between 450 to $700 a month,
I'm not
depending on the
afraid of my
vehicle
guess.
itself.
My guess wasn't that bad, brother.
No, not at all.
And then their typical term that you're writing paper at's like a 75-month loan.
72, 75, anywhere between 60 and 75.
Hmm. And what's the key to like finding inventory that actually gets bought by both the customers and the bank? How do you use Turn Automotive to like find those pieces of inventory?
Yeah, so I go on turn, I'll take a look, see what they have. Generally, it's based off like what's come in through the last 60, 90 days into the store, right? So I have a good understanding of what my buyers in this market is looking for, and I try to just to target those type of vehicles. Because you
Hmm.
go always call someone back and say, hey, I just took this car in, it was exactly what you was looking for, and just following up with those customers that are looking for specific cars.
You're good at that. You're good at remembering who was looking for something and calling them later. That's so hard. How do you keep track of that?
So it's a list. You write down the list of customers, the specific cars, especially those odd cars that you don't have quite in your inventory, but they could come in on trade, or you could go out and buy them. So
What
I
how are you like turning a profit on cars? Everybody says auctions are so hard to buy find profit. Turn's a different value prop. You could take a car in, you can do a remote appraisal, you could buy from their wholesale network. Like, what's a good profit on a used car nowadays? Like a $30,000 car.
I mean, if you could say anywhere between like 2,500 or 3 grand, that's good profit. But I think anything positive is a good deal, right? Whether you make
Really?
five,
Anything
whether
positive is a good deal. I think
yeah,
that's market sentiment right there.
I mean, if you make $500 on a car, like that's a good deal.
Hmm. Benji, what do you think? Like, in terms of profitability, what are you seeing in the market? Like, where are dealers trying to be at when they're lining up, price to market?
Yeah. In my conversations with many dealers, I see the same thing. Is as Javier is saying, dealers really want to just make sure that their profit is there, right? They're not losing any money. And so in my conversations with many dealers, even if they're making $500, they're happy with it. $1,000, they're happy with it, right?
But you know,
Because
you
at
know
the end
what,
of the
guys?
day,
Like, how do you keep a used car salesman around if like there's no front end? Because that's what keeps the killers around. Is if you can find that, you're the used car manager. Can you find them a 5 grand front? Can you find them a 3 grand front to keep them around? You know what I mean? Like, Javier, how important is that for team morale and building a used car department that like you're gonna get people that are hungry to win?
I mean, it's definitely important, but you'll come across those vehicles itself. I think today's day is all about volume.
Mm.
So
You
you're
know what, Javier?
incentivizing
I
people
agree
with
with you
volume bonuses.
entirely. You let it come to you, right?
hmm you're gonna come across that $5,000 or $4,000 front, but if you focus on just volume and building that pipeline, commission wise, you'll make your money.
Yeah. How many
I want to
salespeople
start.
do you have?
I'm sorry.
How many salespeople do you have at Honda of New Rochelle?
My team, I have a team of 10.
Okay. And then what's schedule like for those guys? Bengie left the car business because the schedule was bad. What are we looking at? Do they get every third Sunday off? That was my schedule when I started at Tyson's Toyota. I got Tuesdays off and every third Sunday. You'd get one Sunday off a month. What is it nowadays?
Well, at this store, we have every other Sunday off, and
Nice.
we get one day during the week. You have opening shifts and closing shifts, so you have a great, work-life balance as well.
When do you lock up?
We close at 8.
Oh, that's nice. You like genuinely walk out at 8. Anyone who's still doing a deal remains there until whatever.
Yeah, so we don't. So if you're working on a deal, you're not leaving until, of course, you finish that deal. I always tell my wife, I know the time I'm coming into work, I just don't know what time I'm leaving.
That's cool. Yeah, shout out to the wives of the retail car business. They don't get enough love. I mean, they really are the heroes, and I extend that out to the spouses. Obviously, there's a lot of women in the car business that work really hard. What time does it open on Sunday?
Sunday we 12 for 5.
That's nice. That's what Sunday should be. I remember Tyson's Toyota moved 9 to 9 on Sunday. It's like we're never gonna be able to hire anyone.
Wow.
But
Wow.
In New Jersey, we're not allowed to be open on Sundays. We're
yeah,
closed in Jersey.
Javier and I refer to that as a
Mhm.
country club. You were a member of a country club. So Benji, like, what are you seeing in the market right now that's really important to car dealers as they're using Turn, and like any sort of novel use cases they've stumbled across? Give Javier a hot tip. Tell him how to find some value using this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to utilize our platform is really just making sure, like Javier, you mentioned a great point. When you have customers that come in and they're looking for a specific vehicle, writing it down and whatnot, I think you could utilize our filters feature where instead of just writing it down and whatnot, we have a whole feature for that where customers, you write their name in our system and they're looking for this specific vehicle. And the moment that vehicle lands in our system, you're notified by push notification and email, and then you could be able to buy that vehicle instantly. So I think it's utilizing technology and process for dealerships to just become more efficient, right? Utilize technology in every way possible. I think dealers can really take advantage of that. We're in this day and age, we're everything is technology. How do you not use
That's
it?
like
And
Donald
so,
Trump quote. Remember when he said everything is computer when he sat inside of a Tesla? Wasn't that funny?
and
So
go ahead.
speaking of that, I want to get into this because before this whole thing kicked off, we were talking a little EVs because
Hmm.
controversially yesterday, Ferrari launched their first EV. Maybe it's not their first EV. And I've seen everybody,
Ain't it this right here?
Alex Lawrence, Javier, what do we think of this thing? It's
I
called the
mean,
Lucia. Lucia.
well, it looks nice.
You like it? Everybody hates it. I can't
No,
believe you like it.
it looks like something from the future. So it kind of looks nice. If it is, it's something they just put out.
My favorite tweet on that was this is what happens when you let the iPod designer build a car.
That's a good tweet. It is. It looks nice. It looks sleek.
Benji,
I
where do you
personally
come
like
down
it.
on it? Benji,
I
I bet you
personally
like
like
it.
it. I
You
like
like
it.
it?
I actually do like it. I think it's, companies now are they just want to be innovative, right? And it's really interesting to see that. You would never think Ferrari of all companies would ever do something like this, right? You might have expected a large SUV, if anything, but an electric vehicle, that's just wow. I mean, that's just how you know
It's
that
sad to be
companies
honest.
want to
There
innovate.
has to be some tax play that like gets them tax benefits in the European Union or something like that because that's
Must be,
atrocious. Like a
must be.
Ferrari should just be burning gas. You should be shifting through the gears. It should be cool.
Well, I want to know how fast and how much battery, what's the range on it, you know?
Yeah, no, it'll be fast. It's gonna be fast. I was at the Indy 500 this week, and I was with an IndyCar driver, Max Taylor, and I was with the Honda team actually. Like they had Honda motors and everything. They were like really into it. It was an extreme experience. Um, does like any of that racing effort by the manufacturer ever make it back to a Honda dealership? Like, Honda spending zillions of dollars sponsoring a IndyCar team. Has a customer ever been like, "Hey, I saw the guy just win the Indy 500 with this. That was really cool."
I mean, it's they have a large fan base, right, for Indy 500, and I think you do get those customers that do come in and they're looking at a SI or a Type R, and they're like they love
Honda
the
does have
motor in this.
performance vehicles.
Hmm.
Didn't you like? How did it go with the Prelude? Didn't they just kind of flop with the Prelude?
It's moving, you know, it gets some sales. It's a very interesting vehicle itself.
Would you make it a comp to the Toyota Supra? Is it like similar?
No, if I'm comparing something to the Super in terms of power, it's gonna be the Type R.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Type R is sick.
it's we have a red one in the showroom now, and it's every time I walk by it, I just want to look at it.
Do you
Maybe
buy
Jump in it
cars?
and
Do you
go.
do you care about cars? It's so dangerous to like cars and work at a car dealership. Try and save yourself from it. But do you like cars?
I enjoy looking at cars. Yeah, there are some cars that I can't pass on, you know, when I look at, and I gotta stop and admire. But cars, you know, they've come a long way.
Does
I like
Honda still
vintage
make a
stuff.
stick shift for anything? Is there a
Yeah,
manual transmission stick?
yes, you get the Type R manual transmission, the Civic SI's manual transmission, and you'll get occasionally some Civics.
That's refreshing. Can everybody on this call drive a stick? Raise your hand if you can drive a stick.
Kind of,
Benji, put
kind of,
Benji.
kind of, kind
Javier.
of. I
Javier. That's
remember that brings me
incredible.
back. That brings me back to the days when I was doing appraisals, and we were on the boots, just really hustling, and really just testing out the product and the app and all that good stuff. And as I was doing appraisals, I came across a couple stick shifts, but the good thing was they were junk cars.
Oh,
And
burn
my
them
job was
up.
to appraise. I went at it until then. I got to a couple. I was doing great. Couple of stop signs later, I was done. And I was like, how do I get this thing running again? And it was just a great experience.
Burning up a clutch is a good experience. It requires a very patient father. But Javier, I know that you're using Turn on every piece of your business. And do you ever like share it with buddies that work at other places? Like, hey, dude, you got to get on Turn, or do you keep it secret? It's be
No,
like,
I
Benji,
mean,
it's your job to sell this thing. I'm keeping it a secret. But you think it would like benefit you if like people around you were throwing cars into the appraisal? I mean, into the marketplace?
I think it does benefit us. If the more people who join Turn, because it's another way to inquire cars and it's another way to sell your cars. So, you know, you're able to maximize on both ends, selling your vehicle as well as buying your vehicle. So I think if more people were to join Turn, it'll make it a better marketplace for us to go out and buy vehicles. Especially
Besides
for
the
those.
backstop of the ACV, like giving you a guaranteed value, I think another good part about it is it automatically has an integration to go and do the transport for you. Because remember the day when it like 2015, you remember trying to get a car from like Cleveland to Baltimore? Like that was hard. You had to
Yeah.
call a guy and you had to like persuade him to head your way.
Yeah. The yeah, I think it'll be a great tool. You know, Turn doesn't only allow you to sell, but it offers protection when you buy. So I think that'll be something good.
Yeah, Benji, how does the warranty work? There's like some sort of kind of like protection when you buy a vehicle.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why Honda New Rochelle or the New Rochelle group actually joined was because of the confidence they had behind every transaction in our marketplace. Our warranty is the best in the industry, and when I say that, I truly mean it. You're covered 100% of the time on anything that's not disclosed. I mean, think about that. You're a buyer or a seller, right? And you buy a vehicle, it comes to your showroom with undisclosed damage. If it were anyone else, if it's got a cosmetic damage, you're beat, right? But with Turn, you're fully covered. It wasn't disclosed on the condition report. It's within $500 up to $3,500. All you have to do is go into the system, make a claim, real simple. We'll get back to you within 48 hours. I mean, truly, how can it get any better than that, right?
Man, that's really cool. Javier, I totally respect what you're doing. I think you have an incredible career. I always think that the used car manager is the best job within the four walls of a car dealership because it takes a lot of expertise and acumen and a lot of trust because you're running out there spending the dealer's money relentlessly. So, to get to that position, you had to have been entrusted by somebody. You know what I mean? But you're a younger guy, and like, what does your career outlook look like for you? Like, what do you want to do the long term? You want to work there and like build that place to be the biggest machine of all time? Do you ever have like an aspiration to open up Javier Motors? Like, the car business is an incredible place full of entrepreneurialism and kind of dreams. And like, if you can become the used car manager at a Honda store, you can do a lot. But like, tell me about your career path and goals and stuff like that.
So for one, I definitely I enjoy what I do every day. There's not a day that I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to work. Every day is an exciting day, regardless of the challenges that I will face throughout the day, right? All it is solving people's problem, and I
Right.
enjoy it. I take pride in doing that. Where I do see myself growing, right now trying to be the best pre-owned manager that I could be, learn from everyone that's pouring into me, using the tools that are immediately available to me to grow and help this store grow to what it should be. And my aspirations is definitely of becoming a GSM, maybe a GM one
That's what I'm
day.
talking about. I
So
see,
so I
I
just want to
believe in
grow.
you for that. And I think that people in the car business should aim high and aim higher because
Yeah,
you're sitting on expertise that is only hard earned. You can only do what you do by being there all the time and putting in 10 years. There's no other way around it. So
yeah.
therefore, like when you go to advance in your career, you can be bawdy about your ambitions. And I really just like root for every car guy that spends time in retail and ascends within an organization. And a lot of it, you either become a general manager or a partner or an entrepreneur. But I believe in the car business so much. And I believe in guys like Javier and Bengie, what you're doing at Turn. But maybe we'll leave it on this. Benji, what do you have coming up for us? What are you going to like go to an event, release a new product? What do you got?
Yeah, our integration for our OBD2 scanner into our mobile app is
Oh, I like
actually in the
that.
works and it's almost finished.
Mail one out to
We're
everybody.
Oh, well, come on. Everyone that registers can get one.
Oh, good
If
idea.
if you're not a registered dealer, sorry, I can't help you. But yeah, that's a really really cool process that we've been testing it, and I was just testing it last night, and it's phenomenal. And so I can't
Man,
wait for all of our dealers to get access to it and really utilize it.
OBD2 is a good feature. It plugs right in, tells you what
hmm
you need to know. It's a level of decisiveness you can't find anywhere else. But hey, guys, let's wrap. Oh, hot. What do you got? Benji, one more
I
thing.
got
Go.
one more. I got one more point on that. Keep in mind that it also empowers the salespeople or the managers to understand what the issues are that are wrong with the vehicle. But on the turn side, we're able to give you a more educated offer on your vehicle too.
Yeah.
So it's meant to protect you and it's meant to get you a better, more accurate offer. And
Yep.
if you were to buy that vehicle for retail, keep that in mind too.
Yeah, it just makes the insurance line up more on like the
hmm
backstopped offer. The backstopped offer can be extremely confident if that thing shows green. But fellas, this has been incredible. I am so honored to speak to a real car guy like Javier.
Thank you.
Benji, you're a great entrepreneur. You're kicking butt, building something that dealers love. And I think that that's the rarest thing. It's so hard to like pitch things to a dealer that they actually like. Then you talk to these turn customers and they're like, yeah, I use it all the time. I actually really like it. So thanks for hopping on today, guys. Pleasure meeting both of you. Hang around and
Thank you,
let's
John.
upload this thing and have an excellent Wednesday.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
John.
much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.